By the time the saints were expelled from Nauvoo in 1846, it had become axiomatic that the kingdom of God and Babylon did not mix. After all, the track record was dismal. The Mormons had, within the space of about 7 years, been evicted at gunpoint from Kirtland, Ohio, Independence, Missouri, as well as the rest of Jackson County, Clay County, Missouri, Far West, Missouri, and Nauvoo, Illinois. That the Mormons survived in the face of such fierce resistance is extraordinary. The survival involved establishing a colony in a remote location over 1,000 miles to the west. The Mormon exodus is now legendary and begins with a vanguard company that left winter quarters, Nebraska on April 5, 1847, and forged the way for thousands upon thousands who would come by land and by sea from as far away as England and continental Europe to join the saints in the Great Basin Kingdom. The big question then for the church at winter quarters and beyond was, how will the saints survive? The survival strategy would ultimately entail far more than simply moving out of the way. It would also require a wrenching process of making Mormons more acceptable to the society at large. First and foremost, the saints would be compelled to abandon the practice of polygamy, and 90 years later, a policy that banned American Africans from full participation in the priesthood, a policy that developed over time once the saints settled in Utah. There would be other far-reaching changes as well. Efforts to live in communal orders would be abandoned in favor of a capitalistic distribution of goods and services. An effort to find a more pluralistic, less theocratic political system would be haltingly embraced. At first, the changes would be radical and fundamental, reorienting marriage practices and embracing an economic system that Orson Pratt, a leading LDS apostle at the time, described as a plan of the devil, would not come without some convincing that it was truly necessary. However, as time passed on, and as the church entered the 20th century, the pace of change would become more unhurried and more measured. The evolution is still in progress as the church makes decisions on how to deal with societies in transition and what parts of the gospel are considered essential in an organization that is becoming a worldwide presence. Maintaining a sense of uniqueness as Mormons, while at the same time continuing a trend toward assimilation into the society at large, is an issue of importance, and it does not come without peril. A balance between adherence to past traditions and changing to accommodate the present is essential if Mormonism is to retain its vitality. Too much of an accommodation could dampen the spiritual power and energy of the religion. Too little change could make Mormonism brittle and irrelevant. Some of the unique aspects of Mormon worship that give it a sense of being apart from the world are found in its temple practices. Maintaining a distinctive identity and deciding how to do it is the challenge of our generation.